Hello and welcome back to Real Chalk. I'm Sam.
I'm Jamie.
And we have Connor with us. Say hello, Connor.
Halo.
Hello.
One of the funnier intros. I like it. Okay.
That's good. We're keeping this.
Yeah, we're going to stick with it. We're going to keep rolling. So today what the plan is, we're going to chat a little bit about our training routines, maybe some how we look after our bodies, any injuries we might have come across, and I think we'll kick off there and kind of see what happens. So
yeah, some recovery and injury stuff, I guess, really.
Sam, if you want to hit the timer, we'll hit the clock, hit the 10-second countdown.
Boom. Let's just keep us on track for 20 minutes, even though I think we've gone over every episode.
Yes. Yes. So,
all right.
Sam, maybe, do you want to give us a quick run through on what your training kind of schedule is? Whether you break into single sessions or double sessions, do you do any recovery during your week? Kind of, what does your week look like?
Yeah.
Training.
So, training wise, Monday to Wednesday are pretty similar. It's probably 2 sessions. I'll try and get strength work and maybe kind of CrossFit stuff done morning to afternoon kind of time, and then it'll be more conditioning or running or something in the evening. Friday be the same, and then Saturday I actually do one big session. I try and get everything in and get out of the gym.
Yeah.
What about you?
And then what do I do? So during lockdown, I suppose I mixed it up a good bit as well. So I started doing a lot of running. I was doing a load of mountain runs. I was calling them whiskey runs, running with my wolf dog up the mountains. So that was actually going really well for me until a few people started calling me very skinny. All right. So what happened was I was in my family home and my younger brother was like, "Here, I got a t-shirt for you." And he was actually genuinely trying to be nice. And I was like, "Adam, what size is this?" He was like, "Medium, it'll fit you. You're looking a lot smaller these days." I was like, insult. Okay.
The worst thing to ever hear.
The worst
actually.
insult you can possibly get.
Did you slap him?
It's larger than nothing. Yeah, it's like, tuck that, throw it in the bin, get out of here. But no, yeah, so usually my training breakdown will be I'll do my aerobic work in the mornings and then I'll do my strength work in the afternoon. So I'll go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, double sessions. Then Thursday is normally like an active recovery day. So it might be kind of 30 minutes on the bike, really easy, or else just some physio work. And then Friday again, double. And then Saturday, I'd like to get out of the gym. So I kind of try to do my big session in the morning. It's the heavy lifting when we throw around some heavy weights, get some good snatches, clean and jerks, that type of thing. And then Sunday's completely chill out. That's kind of usually my breakdown.
Definitely need at least one day to not even think about CrossFit.
Even
on Thursday, say you'd have the day off active recovery, you have to do stuff on Friday and you're like, oh, I'm still thinking about it. But on Sunday I try and completely disconnect and not even look at anything for the week. Just try and really, really disconnect from CrossFit. I think it's good to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And right now I'm doing my own programming. I follow I like to look at what other people are doing and then I'll take ideas. But before, when Andy Owenton was doing my programming, I used to get so worked up over all the work I had to do that day. Yeah. And he was using TrueCoach, so you'd be able to see session 1 and session 2. And if I looked at it even the day beforehand, I'd be thinking about it all night. I'd be like, have to do this, have to get these times, especially if you're retesting a workout. I'd be have to beat a workout from 2 weeks ago. So I remember I'd open up my phone and I'd always cover the bottom half of my phone so I could only see part 1. Because if I saw part 2, it would just ruin my day. Yeah. I'd be sitting on the rower during session 1 worrying about session 2.
Yeah.
But I suppose you need to be that focused as well because you're just it makes you constantly compete against yourself to try to do better.
I think so.
But yeah, I'm definitely one for getting worked up over what I have to do later on.
I think that definitely happens more earlier in kind of your CrossFit journey. Yeah. I think as you kind of get into it, when I get to the next session, in the moment I'll give it my everything, but I don't need to worry about that now because there's nothing currently I can do that'll affect what I do in the moment of the workout later.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it just takes a long time to really realize that because up until then you're like, oh my God, I need to have my grips here and I'm going to transition this and have the dumbbells laid right beside the rig. Yeah. But that doesn't really matter. That's not the stuff you should be worrying about.
No. And also I think as you kind of do more training and you follow more programs, you realize that you can adjust it if you want. I know I used to be very bad for doing exactly what was on my program no matter what. my knee could be hanging off me and I'll have to do wall balls later on, and I'm like, it's on the program, so I'm not missing it. But I think you really have to take day by day, see how you're feeling, make small adjustments, talk to your training partners, see what they're doing, and then also sometimes just jump in on workouts with your training partners rather than just doing your own program all the time, so there's a bit of fun with it.
100%.
If you're training on your own the whole time, it's a bit shit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's almost just way more beneficial than sticking to the exact program. Like when you show up on game day and you go, I stayed to my program that one time back in March, but like you would have gained more experience from going head to head with someone, or getting a bit more intensity or something, you know. It's and not from not sticking to the program, you might be exposed to something that you're not necessarily used to.
Yeah,
as well.
And you need to get beaten sometimes. Like,
oh, yeah.
Even if you're better than everyone in the gym, there might be one section in a 20-minute workout, like 1 minute, where Filippo might jump up and do 20 chest to bars or 30 chest to bars, and he could be flying, and you're like, shit, I need to work on that, you know.
Yeah.
But if you never get to go against anyone, then you're not going to see
you won't know that.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So when you come home from a training session, say you've done your morning aerobic and you know you have to do some strength stuff later, what kind of would you be doing? Any extra kind of mobility or stretching or recovery work?
Yeah.
Because you might be sore from the running and you go, okay, it'll be harder to lift or whatever.
So I'm bad for not doing any stretching or recovery while
Me too.
while I'm fresh. Okay, while I'm fresh. But then the second I feel the smallest niggle come on, like only last week there, my knees started hurting me. So then suddenly I'm like, okay, everything comes out. So I've got this box at home where I've got a few things that I've either bought over the years in CrossFit, won a few bits, got a few sponsors bits, and it's got like knee sleeves, it's got the old voodoo floss. So last week I'm sitting there on the couch beside Anna. I've got an ice pack on my leg, wrapped in voodoo floss, so my leg is voodoo and iced. Then I've got the Compex on my leg, full max. We're trying to watch a TV program and the whole couch is vibrating. I'm shaking, got the Compex up on 100 miles an hour. Yeah. I've done that when I was sitting there trying to eat like chicken and rice, and I had the concept on my bicep, and it's the whole thing shaking. You're doing well trying to get 1 grain of rice into your mouth. Yeah. But going back into that. So it would be better if I did more stretching and mobility, and I know I did go WOD for a little while. Yeah. But if I am injured or if I have a niggle coming along, I normally use the Compex for just blood flow, and then I'll ice any like kind of sore areas, but mainly Compex, and then also I get work done on me. Anna does work on me in the physio room every week, just that like neuromuscular massage, which is absolute torture room. Pretty sure
we're in the torture room.
Yeah, we actually are.
I feel a bit unsafe.
I'm a bit scared. I normally
here.
Sweat in here from just the fear
on edge
of those sessions. What about yourself? What's your recovery routine?
I think I'm the exact same. If I feel something going on, I will have every possible resource to try and fix it. Like if like say my elbow's at me or something, I'll just have like voodoo floss around my thing for way too long. My arm would be purple. There'd be ice here, and my like Compex would be going like this. Like, I have to just have to recover now.
Yeah.
So like, I think it'd be smarter if I did extra work, maybe more consistently to prevent. Well, not that anything can be prevented, but I've started actually doing a go WOD, especially during the lockdown. Like, okay, I'm doing a go WOD every day. Just set it to the daily setting, and it's set out for you. It tells you what to stretch. Gives you the time, so like it's pretty handy.
It does definitely help.
Just while you have the extra time as well, might as well do some extra stretching.
Especially though, for like stretching will really help your weaker positions, like if your bottom position in your snatch, if your hips are tight, or your overhead positions for your shoulders. Go WOD is definitely a huge one that will help you, and it also exposes weaknesses because you can test yourself on it, isn't there? Is there not a test that gives you a score out of 10? So
there's a retest and like a test kind of thing. So it says a certain element of your body is tighter than the other. So mine is like my priority weakness area to stretch is my overhead.
Yeah.
So like it'll put in the odd extra bit of overhead work. But if like say it was ankles, the person would do an extra ankles in their stretching and stuff. So it's kind of customized as well. It's pretty good.
Do you ever get a cramp creep up out of nowhere, like you're just sitting on the couch, or probably the two most dangerous places to sit after
big training day?
Yeah, after training day is the cinema and an airplane, because the cinema you're cramped in, you're so stuck. And I remember I was there at a cinema watching a movie, and massive hamstring cramp comes on. I've actually got 3 really bad cramp ones. So one was I was there at the cinema, massive hamstring cramp, and you just jump out of your chair, like everyone's like, what the hell is this weirdo doing?
Popcorn just jolts.
Yeah.
There's popcorn
just
going
everywhere. And then another one after a big lifting Saturday, I was with Ian Good. building and we went to Bunsen Burger. So we drive there, we have our Bunsen, and I don't know what was wrong with my body. I must have done a big session, but my body was in trouble. Like I was sweating profusely just during the Bunsen, like, and I was like, this is a bit odd. So afterwards, we didn't hang around really. I was like, here, let's get out of here. I'm not feeling great. So he's like, yeah, cool. So my whole body's just a bit shaky and a bit sore, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm sitting in the front, and suddenly I get this massive cramp in my abs. Like all of my abs just start like hurting, and one is like sticking out. So I'm like, oh, stop. So he stops, and I get up, and I'm like kind of stretching backwards, and I couldn't get it to go. So I had to lie down in his back seats, fully flat out. And he drove me back to the gym, and that was that.
That's actually, that's brilliant. I just get like, if I'm on a plane or just sitting still for too long, especially in cinema, I just want to straighten my legs and like start kicking stuff. Like the tendons under my knee just want to like work. Like I remember being on a plane and like going down to the back of the like the aisle, whatever, and just sitting at the bottom of a squat for like 10 minutes, and people are like going in and out of the bathrooms, just looking at this like.
Everyone's like, who's this weirdo? Like,
is he praying or something? Like, what's this guy doing? So I get cramps easily.
I think planes kind of suck for everyone though. I like.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I don't get any of the swelling or anything. Which
none of the ankle swelling and all that stuff.
No, wearing flight socks. No, like
flight
up to the
socks,
top of the thighs.
Flight socks sound hilarious. It sounds like you're wearing a helmet, like for safety on the plane. I've got my flight socks, my safety viz, and my helmet.
And you're in the bottom of the squat beside the toilet, wearing all that kit.
I knew a guy once who, when he used to ride his bike everywhere, and when he first got his license, he was like, I just had to wear my helmet in the car. I just felt naked and unsafe without it. I can't go anywhere without my helmet. So that just reminded me of that.
Was that you or was that your friend?
Yeah, my friend. Yeah, no.
Is that the same fella who went around singing like sea shanties on his bike?
No, that's a different friend actually. But that was good too. I wasn't allowed to cycle without him anywhere without singing back to the sea shanty. So he'd sing the first line like, I don't know what it was at all, your ho he or whatever, and I'd have to repeat it back on my bicycle beside him. So I think it definitely looked like absolute, I don't know, off her head meth addict cycling around.
Have you ever tried to bring complex onto the plane?
Oh yeah, your bags get stopped at the
100%.
thing.
So I'm going through security, but it was my first complex that had all the wires in it. So you get stopped, and I'm there kind of opening it up, and they're like, what is this? I'm like,
and stuff.
I'll show you. Yeah, you take out this like a device, basically, turn it on, start plugging all the wires in, and then attaching it to my body. Your man's like, calm down. Takes the thing off me, and then I was like, kind of realized, oh shit, I can see what the problem is here.
I can see that. Yeah,
it's never great bringing it.
They always check that, and like protein stuff or whatever. They're like, what is this?
Yeah,
powdery stuff in your bag.
Yeah, having chalk all over the front of your bag.
It doesn't help. Yeah.
I think looking at you though, like, what else is it going to be? Like, I feel like if they're like, oh, I don't think this is protein, they kind of look at you and go, oh, okay, it's probably protein.
Yeah, fair.
I think it'd be strange to really question you on that one.
True. I guess back on topic to kind of injuries and stuff. What's the worst injury you've ever had?
So my big injury was this was my shoulder. I've never really fully gone through exactly what it was. So basically, after regionals in 2016 or 17, I went on a bit of a mad training. I had nothing really like in my sights because I had just gone to regionals. That was my big goal. So I'd been so focused on regionals for 4 years that after that I was like, I don't want to do CrossFit, but I don't want to have to focus on CrossFit. And my max snatch at the time was 125. So I remember saying I want to hit a 130 snatch. That was my big goal. But I had gone from hitting 125 once before regionals to maybe a week after hitting 127, and then I was going for 130. That was my mission. So a 5 kilo jump is pretty damn big. And I went over to a weightlifting camp in Spain. And basically it was an epic camp. We were lifting the whole time. And I was icing my shoulders a lot just because they were sore and the volume of the training was crazy. And we were training like a 3-hour session in the morning, 2-hour session later on. So 5 hours a day. And every day after each session, I'd be putting the ice pack on both shoulders, not just one of them. But on the final day, so we had finished the camp, and I had asked the coach, could we do a PT session? Because I'd hit 128 kilos, so I got in a new PB, and I was like, I'm 2 kilos off. I need this lift. Nice. So it was going so well. I was flying it, and we were going the whole way up to 2 hours before my flight. Basically, I hit my last lift. So last lift, 130 kilos, wanted to go for it. So hit the snatch, hit the bottom position, catch it, and then so suddenly I've got there's a video of it on YouTube, and basically my shoulder rolls forward, and usually if your shoulder would roll forward, you just allow the bar come down in front of you and you'd fail the lift. I failed the lift a million times, but this time my shoulder rolled forward and my elbow came forward as well, so they were both jarred in like the front position, which then now suddenly I'm in a bad position and the weight has to come down. So what happened is, firstly, subscap ripped off the bone. Subscap is your internal external rotation. So subscap rips off the bone, bar keeps coming down, bicep tore off the bone, a partial dislocation, a small break in my arm because of the just the impact of the bar coming down, and then also a 50% labrum tear. So I'm there, arm completely hanging off me. And the coach then, so arms hanging off me, and I then, even though like my arm was in bits, so there's the video of it, you can just see like the muscles kind of just like I've just been hit like with like serious speed. You can just see the arm just move really weird, a big kind of flow of energy go through my arm. That was like the muscles coming off the bone. But so that was the injury. But then so straight after that, I'm holding my shoulder, my arm is like literally down by my knee because I have no grip of my arm basically. And then the coach is like, do you want to do cleans? I was like, are you insane? No, I don't want to do cleans. And then he was like, yes, that's a good decision. Like, okay, great.
Obviously, yeah.
So then I go inside though, and then I wanted to, even though my arm is hanging off, I wanted to keep telling myself I'm okay, I'm not hurt, I'm fine. But so my brain is telling my arm to move, like I'm trying to move it, but because the muscles aren't connected to the bone, like my bicep, my subscap are off the bone, they just weren't working. So it was like your biceps connected to your shoulder. Mine was just in a big pile down at the bottom by my elbow. It like just slipped down. So I'm telling my arm to move and it won't move. So it just felt really weird that I had no movement of my arm. So what I did is I picked my arm up, brought it fully overhead, and then just let go of it. And I thought I'd be able to like control it down, and it just dropped. Flopped. And I was like, uh-oh. So that was like, and then I went home. So from there, again, like I said, it was 2 hours before I was meant to get on the plane. So went to the airport, and my plan was to get painkillers because I didn't know what was wrong with my shoulder. It was just really sore. So I get there. By the time I get to the airport, my t-shirt is like a different color. I just been sweating so much, and I didn't know why. I was just body like in shock.
Yeah, okay.
So go through security, and then they're like, no, there's no chemist on this side. You had to get all medication before. So I was like, no. So go home, get the flight back to Ireland, go to A&E the next day, and got my MRI and all. And this is the most bizarre part of the whole thing. My MRI, the doctor reads to me, you've got a subscap torn off, you've got bicep, you've got a labrum tear, all of this stuff. And he's like, but even though it says that, sometimes when it says this, it's not actually as bad as it looks. And he was like, you look like you're okay. You look like you're fit and strong. So I'd say 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, do I need a sling? He's like, nope, no sling. I was like, and then he grabs my arm. This is the weirdest bit, from my side, and shook my hand. I was like,
so you grabbed your arm like this?
Yeah, extreme pain. So I don't know like why that happened, but basically then I went to a specialist who's a really good friend and trains here, Dermot Maloney, unbelievable surgeon. And he basically looked after me then, and he told me that I need to get into surgery immediately. So I had a 10-day break where I went to Switzerland because I was meant to be competing in the... What's that team competition?
I know the one, Swiss Alpine Battle.
Yeah, Swiss Alpine Battle. I was meant to be competing with Bartek Lipka, which I met him at regional, so it would have been unbelievable.
That'd be cool,
but I went on holidays, came back, got like 3 repairs in my shoulder, and that was my crazy show. But now I'm Iron Man.
You are Iron Man. You're
9,
Wolverine.
Yeah, 100%. I have 9 bolts in my shoulder. Like if I put a weight overhead, it's not going down.
No.
I've got a steel arm.
It's staying up.
Yeah,
well,
staying up, please.
My injury is going to sound really bad, or like the paper cut I got was really bad. So, that's intense though. I have never had surgery or anything, thank God. It's like knock on wood.
You'd want, 100%. You'd want to stay away from it because even though it is like looking back, it's great that I recovered from it and all, but it's just a nightmare because when you get surgery, it's everything has to knit back together because you're essentially being cut open, you know, so all the muscles have to knit back together. So it's just a long, boring, slow process, you know. And that was probably the worst part of that. But what about like in training? Would you ever get like little niggles or anything like that? And how would you normally like look at recovering from them? I know you had a recent shoulder thing as well.
Yeah, I had like nerves trapped and my ribs were out of place. Like my first rib was out of place, and I was really sore. I couldn't really move. I couldn't even lie down. I was in a bad way for a while, but again, I still feel bad just saying this. I should have said mine first.
Yeah, definitely should have said this first.
But yeah, I was in a bad way.
You had a bit of a freak out one night as well.
I couldn't sleep. I couldn't actually move. I couldn't even lift my head off the pillow, which was really scary because like you have no control over your body then.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I had to like flop out the bed, and I got my mum to bring me to the emergency room, and because it was kind of COVID times, the emergency room, I don't think they really had any priority on myself.
Yeah.
So I got there, this was like 3 a.m, and then they gave me some paracetamol and said, sure, just wait here for the next 8 hours. And I went, no, I'm going to go. And I just snuck off.
Yeah,
I was better off. But then I eventually got fixed, like with help of Paul from chiropractics and Anna.
Yeah.
And everyone just kind of, I had a whole team of people just putting me back in place and saying, Sam, be careful.
I think you got work done every single day for about 10
a good
days
while,
at least.
yeah.
Like.
And the amount of ice I had to have on my back, I watched so much TV. I've caught up on TV that I haven't watched in years. Just with ice melting on my back the whole time. But yeah, that was a bad one. But no surgery again.
Yeah, well, no, thank God. But I think as well, you go through like during training and all, you will go through little injuries. But like we said about sticking to the program, you're always going to get little niggles, like whether you hurt your hip or your shoulder or your back. But the key thing is not just allowing it to get better and being like, okay, I'm good, I'm 100% again, but trying to say, why did it break down? Because it was probably a weak muscle. Yeah, it's definitely like a weak muscle somewhere in there. And everyone like normally focuses on their main, the main movement, say like doing a push jerk or a split jerk. Everyone wants to build up their shoulders in front of their shoulders, but they forget about all that internal rotation and really boring stuff. So I'd say if you ever do get little niggles, don't just go, all right, I'm back, but try find the reason you got the injury in the first place.
Yeah, and just keep up the kind of, turn it from rehab into prehab. You just have to keep it up before you train. Like I always do the bands for my shoulder every day and some kind of hip work and stuff, and just keep it up. Don't just think, oh, I'm back to normal, I don't have to do anything ever again. Yeah, because then you'll go back to the way you were.
Exactly.
You know,
it's so easy to just jump straight into the lifting session, but you need to do all of that. But as well, when I had my shoulder, one of the first things I was allowed to do is go to one of the first things to kind of get it moving, because I had like surgery in front and the back. I couldn't move it anywhere because it was just it was all trying to recover at the same time. But they said the best chance of coming back and competing, they said usually what you do is you'd do it in 3 separate surgeries: repair kind of the front, repair the back, and then repair the subscap, which is like the bottom.
That in the one go.
Yeah, so they were like that the recovery time in that is going to be so long that you're just going to be dust by the end of it. So they were like, let's just do all 3 in one go. The start of the recovery is going to be pretty shit because you've got a few kind of like entry whenever they kind of go in. So anyway, one of the first things I could do was go to the swimming pool. So I'd be going to, where was I going? I think I was going to Trinity. But I walk into Trinity, and I've been doing all my cardio and all, so I was still in good shape walking in. Yeah. And then it looked like I was going to do a good session. Then I'd sit down at the bottom of the pool, and the only thing I was allowed to do was raise my arm up to halfway. But because the pool is quite shallow, all I was doing for a full hour is I just sink down to the bottom of the pool, let my hands slowly come out of the water, try hold it for 5 seconds, come up for a deep breath and go again. And literally that would be a full hour session of this weirdo holding up a whole lane, just sinking to the bottom, holding his breath for 10 seconds and coming back again. So yeah, there you go. That's my swimming pool story for you.
Everyone's got to start somewhere with swimming. Trust
100%. me. Yeah, I still think if I was doing that in Dubai, I might have still beaten you in that swim event.
I think even if you like came up for a breath and like sunk under and just bounced around the lap, I'd say you would have got there quicker than me. And a lot less pain.
Yeah, fair.
I think on that note, we end the podcast.
Yeah, I think we'll call it another one where we run over our 20-minute AMRAP. But again, guys, thanks a mil for listening. Please like and share if you're enjoying the podcast.
And leave a review on your chosen podcast listening app.
Anywhere, wherever you are. Yeah, I only checked iTunes today and turns out we had 3 reviews. And I was like, hey, it's better than none.
3
so
reviews.
Yeah, and they're all 5-star. So you're doing something right, boys.
Imagine they're all 1 star.
Yeah,
they're going to be 1
please
star.
Don't leave 1
in the
stars.
comments keeps going over the time cap.
Yeah.
Terrible workout. It was a DNF.
Yeah.
Nice one, boys.